Good morning. I made it through the night. I had to share a queen size bed with the husband I almost divorced. We usually have a king size bed, so that was fun. We are just not, we are so aligned on so many things, but we do not have the same travel energy. Like his travel energy is pure chaos. Oh my God, I forgot this and I got to do this. And my travel energy is very like, I will be organized. I will be orderly. I will not show fear. Like I will make it happen. And so when we travel together, sometimes it's kind of a shit show. And yesterday was like that, including the fact that while he was driving, he's like, hey, talk to me, keep me awake. Like, I can't just sit here and drive with nobody talking to me. And then when we switched and I drove, guess who fell asleep? Anywho's it. At some point in the ride, we got out to like go to the bathroom and get drinks or whatever. And I was like, I'm going to sit in the back. My son was sitting in the back. I was like, I'm going to sit in the back. Please, no one talk to me. Like I just literally needed to be like in my own world. But I was able to do some stuff back there, which was a side-by-side of the new email we got from Jed Wallace with Jed Wallace's declaration that he had filed earlier in the case. So I want to just do a high alert. We have a fact issue. This is a fact issue. This is why whatever information you get at the beginning is not set in stone, because there may be something else out there that completely changes the way that you look at it, or completely changes the way that it's interpreted, or creates an issue of fact about whether something did or didn't happen the way that it appears. And so we have our very first easily recognizable fact issue on what was Jed Wallace hired to do. So let's celebrate that by looking at the Jed Wallace Jed Wallace emails and the Jed Wallace declaration right up next to each other. Okay, so I know it's not great and I couldn't get a line to go across there. I was on my phone in the back of a car. Give me a break. So I've got the declaration and then the little purple versus what the email said. So in the declaration, he says, I am the only employee of Street Relations that engaged in that limited role, meaning the limited role he was engaged in for Wayfair and Justin Baldoni. I am the only employee of Street. But then if you look at the email, it says, my team has been in full throttle mode. In the meantime, we will work in lockstep with TAG, but engaged separately. So it's just me, and then it's my team and we. My guess is that what he would say is, oh, it's just industry to say we Street Relations. Or when I was talking about my team, I was talking about all the lawyers and finance people that were listed in this email chain because we're all part of the team. But that doesn't ring credible to me. So there's fact issue number one. Was he the only one working on it, or were there more people? Now he does say, I think someone noted this, I'm the only employee of Street. So does that leave open the possibility that he was using independent contractors who were not employees? All right. Number two, in early August 2024, I was contacted by Melissa Nathan about Justin Baldoni, potential stories or social media attacks on him. And then he says what his job allegedly was. Now that some of that checks out when you look at the emails, right? The timing matches up. It was August of 2024. He was contacted by Melissa Nathan. That's how all this stuff got done. She was the link there. But what his job was to do is not stated in this. We don't have the quote. We don't have whatever the option, whatever the package was, right? So we do not know. We do know about the money, and thank you guys for pointing it out. I read it too fast. It is $30,000 per month. So this is a $90,000 job. So, do we believe that he was paid $90,000 to read, analyze, and assess all forms of media and trends taking place with respect to various issues? I don't know. I need someone in media to tell me if that's common. That seems like an awful lot to me. But, you know, there's a fact issue there about what was he hired to do and why did it cost $90,000? This one does seem to match up in general. It says, my limited work related to Justin Baldoni concluded in early November 2024. So if you take the email of the $30,000 per month for 3 months, right, that's starting in August. So that's August, September, October. At the beginning of November, it would be over. So that does seem to match up. But that also does mean he did it for the whole 3 months. So again, why did it take him 3 months to look at social media and be like, you're good? That doesn't seem like it would take 3 months, you know? So there's a fact issue that there's not a fact issue on what the timing of his hiring was, of the retention of him. It appears to have lasted for the amount of time that he said, but it's still strange that it took that amount of time for him to do what he says he did in such a limited way. And then this is sort of the same point. He said, and this was like the money shot of his declaration, neither I nor Street communicated or caused content to be provided to any journalists, content creators, or media entities anywhere, let alone the New York Times, blah, blah, blah. My role on social media was merely passive observation and analysis of the social media environment as it pertains to It Ends With Us. So dude got paid $90,000 to passively observe and analyze the social media environment about this movie. I would like to have that job, please. Sign me up. So that's the fact issue that we've got with regard to Jed. Now that we've got two different pieces of information, one of which is a declaration under oath, and one of which is a document that he actually produced. So we've got two different pieces of information coming straight from him that appear to conflict with each other. That's what a fact issue is. So let's talk about it. Put in the comments, like, what do you think? Are there explanations for these things? Is there not explanations for these things? Did he thread the needle on the declaration, or did he say some stuff that went too far and now he's committed perjury? The other thing, I will tell you what I'm thinking about is, what is the information that I need to understand which of those things is the fact, right? Because as a lawyer, you're thinking, okay, I've got a dispute here. It looks like I've got a fact issue on what he was hired to do. So what fills that gap? The quote, the proposal, perhaps his testimony on what he was hired to do, perhaps Melissa Nathan's testimony on what he was hired to do, whatever analysis or reports he may have created. I want to see the invoices. I want to see the actual invoices from the business department that were sent from Street Relations over to TAG and over to Wayfair that says, please pay me $30,000 because here's what I did. That will help us understand more of the context for this. But this is what you get to when you get to discovery, is nothing is as simple as it seems. There's always something else, and there's always an explanation or a turn or something that comes up that causes you to stop and think,